Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncommon Sense. I'm Junior Doan. Thank you for joining us. My guest today is local craftsman and quote-unquote soaper, as he calls himself, Zac Kidder. Zac left construction field 8 years ago to begin his own business as the owner of Cabana Soaps. So welcome, Zac. What actually does soap do? I mean, we all use it, but what does it do? What is it meant to do?
Keeps your skin clean. It allows you to keep the grease and debris off your skin.
And how does it do that?
Well, it's the molecular structure that actually does it. The molecule is shaped like a teardrop. So one end is round and one end is pointy.
Yes.
The pointy end is attracted to grease and dirt, and the round end is attracted to water. And they both kind of repel each other. And as they repel each other, they're constantly moving around. And the pointy end actually pierces the surface tension of the water, creating the bubble. And it also lifts the dirt and the grease off your skin in the lather, and then you rinse away the lather and the dirt and the grease, and you have clean skin.
I see. And does most of the dirt, I can understand if you're digging ditches or something that on a daily basis you would get dirt on you, but if you have I don't know, I hate to say taking care of children, but if you're in an office environment or where you don't exactly have that kind of dirt, what kind of dirt does the body develop on its own through losing skin, and how often do you have to use soap?
Well, I suggest using it at least once or twice
I know you're
a day.
biased, but tell me, I know
Yes.
we have to wash our hands for, multiple times, 20 seconds in here, under the nails, right, and dry
Yes,
everything, and da-da-da-da.
I'm not sure I follow those regulations, but my wife uses it every day. She washes her face every day with it. I personally shampoo with it every day, wash my face, full body bar. She shaves her legs with it. When I shave my face, I shave with it. It has multiple purposes.
Is that true of most soaps?
I think you can every soap has its own characteristic.
Okay.
And you can have the same ingredients in soap, but different benefits or different characteristics. Because it's all about the ratios of the oils that you use in the soap. So you can create a better lather, or you might have a super fatted soap that may be more moisturizing. And you can also add different liquids to soaps. Like I'm currently adding tea, green tea, whiskey, wine, beer, and I've now just started making a cider soap, which is outstanding. It is.
I can understand how you might have it might have a distinctive aroma, but does it also change the characteristics of the soap, or is that depending on how much of the beer or the cider you put in it?
It absolutely does. I had a customer come up and tell me that the cider bar actually makes him feel like the water is cleaner. And then I swear when I smear the whiskey bar on my skin, it feels like the bar is hovering over my skin. It's quite lovely.
Does that relate to the bar or to the skin of the person using it?
I think it's related to the bar and how it lathers and the different bubbles that it produces. Some of the bars create a larger bubble and some create a smaller bubble.
Why is that?
I'm not positive.
You're not? It's good not to know, because it's always good to learn. So how did you get into this line of work?
I was following my wife around. She was pursuing her doctorate. So we were traveling in between Michigan and Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. And I couldn't hold down my full-time position. So
Which was what?
It was construction.
Oh, construction, yeah.
So I was, home for 3 months, and then I disappeared for 9 months.
Oh.
And my boss put up with that for 2 years and said that he can't do that anymore.
What kind of construction did you do?
Everything. Roofing, building houses, pole barns, pretty much everything.
Carpentry.
Yes, yes. The gentleman I worked for actually had a standing seam metal former in his trailer, so we could roll out the steel right there.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those eyes that can tell when something's an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch off?
If they're next to each other, maybe.
Right. The reason I'm asking is I once had a carpenter build something, and he didn't really measure. Do you know, he depended on his experience, or if he really had, then he'd get it out. But
That's amazing.
it was to me.
I'm not that
I've
good.
never seen
Yeah.
that before at anyone.
Well, now I
yeah.
make soap for a living.
Yeah, so it's totally different technique and skills, huh?
Absolutely.
How do you have to pay attention differently?
It's basically focusing on measuring in soaping. It's all about the ratios that you're using, so it's all about weights and volumes. I basically do strictly weights to get the exact volume that I need for my molds.
And why do you find, well, let me back into that differently. Do you find there are people who are more interested, is the majority, not the majority, are more people interested in fatty soaps or non-fatty soaps?
I think everybody's just looking for the experience in the shower and make their skin feel the best. I have soaps that have been very popular, and then they lost their popularity because I brought in a new bar. For instance, the whiskey bar has become the most popular bar, where it used to be a honey calendula bar, where I put actual calendula flower petals in the soap.
Oh, interesting. Do you think variety is part of it? That people get, they like new?
I think so. I think so. I try to have something new on the table every week.
Every
But
week?
Every week that I'm at the market, I try to have some kind of new combination. And every year I try to have some different soap. For instance, I brought in the whiskey soap this year, and then now I'm bringing in the cider soap kind of towards the end of the year.
So what happens when the farmer's market closes?
I just kind of start working on my house. It slows down a little bit. I have a couple stores in Midland that have it.
But not mail order. It's more impulse buy?
I do mail order. People call me. I have found that I can't spend much time on the computer. I have a really hard time sitting in front of the computer just for it to warm up.
Yes, right.
So
You like speed.
Email is kind of difficult for me.
Do you,
It's basically a time issue. I don't know why. I could probably do a lot better business if I were more internet capable, but it's just a choice that I've made so far.
it could be a class project. How to promote your things, or even what's that great thing they have? I think they have to start a new idea. There's a program kids can do in school about starting businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and remember. I haven't thought about it in quite a while, but I think they have to develop their own idea. But I think it would be a great experience for kids to take it and see how they could develop a market for it, other than,
I could have an awesome intern program.
well, it's important. And then I was growing up and you were never an intern. Now, that's the way you learn. You learn a lot besides the product. You learn, from trying things. It's a wonderful opportunity we have now. So I'm still not clear did the gods just spoke to you one day and said, let's make soap? It wouldn't speak to me, let's make soap. So that's why I'm kind of interested in it.
My best friend's mom approached me and said she had an awesome soap recipe, and wherever I landed, I could start a business.
Well, she's a fan. That's lovely.
Oh, she is an awesome woman. She's one of my mentors for sure, and I was just lucky to have her think of me at that moment.
And was she making soap on her own?
She still does.
She still does?
Yes.
For her own use?
Oh, for her own use, and sells it.
And she does?
Yeah.
Well, how nice of her to share.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, interesting. You'd probably be a good team, the two of you.
Well, she is a very busy woman. She does other things besides that. Her son is my best friend, who has also started a vineyard, a brewery. Upon top, he has flower greenhouses. He has above ground, what do they call them? The above
Aquaculture. They grow vegetables and water.
High tunnel greenhouse.
Hydroponic.
Well, not hydroponic, but it's the high tunnel, so that he can grow year-round, basically, in Harbor Springs.
Grow what?
cold crops like kale, broccoli,
Oh, jeez.
things like that. So
He's
they're
got a lot of
very,
interest. They
they're
are busy.
very, very busy people. So it's pretty neat.
Well, you know, these make great gifts.
Absolutely.
They look good, they smell good, and so it's really a marketing thing at this point, right?
Yes, and then getting people to try it. And after you try it, I have people come back and tell me that the best part of their day is just taking a shower with my soap. So it's all about the experience, the feeling that you have when you get out. I mean, the shower is a pretty important part of your day, and why not make it the best part of your day?
I'm just amazed the feeling could be so different.
It is. It is. I have tried every soap that I've come across for over 8 years, and I have yet to have one that matches the quality of this. And just recently, I've actually changed the formula a little bit. I'm getting away from the palm kernel oil
Oh, yeah?
because of the environmental impact that
Okay.
it is having right now. People are now starting to decimate rainforests, Pacific islands, orangutan habitat, and things like that, just to create more palm plantations. So now I'm going to the olive oil and coconut oil strictly.
And do they compound the same way, olive oil and coconut oil?
Yes, I have had no issues. I still have the same amount of olive oil in the soap. I've just replaced my coconut oil, my palm kernel oil with my coconut oil.
Does it perform differently on the skin?
Not at all. I can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference, and you're
No.
paying attention.
Absolutely.
So how much of your time does this take, this business? I can understand in the summer you're busy because you're going to at least 1 or 2 or more farmers markets, right?
Yes, I'm going from farmers markets Wednesday through Saturday,
Okay.
but that's just from May through October. And then I'm a stay-at-home dad, so it allows me to be home with my son quite a bit. And not my wife helps out a lot. I am not the only caretaker whatsoever. I can't say that I am a stay-at-home dad that does everything in the house, and
Yeah.
because my wife does a lot.
How old is your child? How's your son?
8.
Oh, that's a lovely age.
Yes,
That is a lovely age.
he's an awesome kid.
Who's he like, you or your wife?
He's a great combination of us both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, with several of my guests, I've talked about raising children, and it seems there's, I won't say different styles and different generations, but how are you raising your son? I mean, are you a friend? Are you a disciplinarian? Or do you talk things out? What's in vogue these days as being a parent?
I think it evolves every day.
How so?
It really depends, I think, on my personal presence at the moment, really. Becoming a parent is a selfless act.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
there's no way around it. So in order to be present and try and be, there for that younger human being is challenging, and so I can't say that I have the same theory every day, or I'm able to follow the same path every day. However, I think it's important to have some kind of friendship relationship with your child, as well as some kind of structure, without, not severe discipline at all, but some kind of direction.
How do you give direction to an 8-year-old?
Repeating myself a lot. Repetition.
My daughter had a little boy about 18 months ago, and already there are parent groups to discuss parenting. Do you attend? Is there things that you attend like that?
Just recently I've thought about seeking one out.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did not follow through. So
I think it's good to have companionship and ideas as you go through almost any kind of a project. And your wife, she's a full-time teacher, or how does her schedule work?
yes, she's an associate professor assistant professor, not associate professor, assistant professor at SVSU. She teaches poetry. It's a full-time job. She has 4 classes sometimes in a semester, four
That's a
different
lot.
preps, 4 different preps every.
Does she work on the summertime schedule too?
No, that is by her choice. She has done it before, but she didn't do it last summer.
Tell me a little bit about your background. What was your family interested in?
We lived in northern Michigan. My parents are both entrepreneurs. My mom started many successful businesses.
Oh, really?
Sold them. My dad had a cabinet business all the way through as I was growing up. He's built multiple houses. Right now they're in the process of starting an organic dairy farm in Sheboygan.
Interesting.
It's very, yes, it's very interesting. They're interested in helping the environment and people at the moment. They want to start doing rotational grazing at their farm.
Oh, yeah.
They want to educate people and possibly have some interns and things like that to promote better environment caretaking.
What was that?
Caretaking, better stewardship, I guess. Yeah.
Land stewardess. Land?
Yes,
or-
land and personal.
Yeah. I thought crop rotation and grazing rotation was standard. It isn't?
I don't think so. I don't know that much about it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to do all grass-fed, no grain-fed, and
Good for them.
yeah, it's. Yeah.
They really take things on.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's amazing that your family did that and your friend's family also. Are the parents friends?
No, no. My friend and I met in college. We were roommates.
Oh, interesting. And his family's from Michigan or someplace else?
Michigan. Oh, well, he grew up in Michigan. He wasn't originally from, but most of his life has spent in Michigan. Yeah.
So I see a little entrepreneurial activity in you then.
I hope so. I've done quite a few jobs in my life, and I've figured out that I think working for myself is probably my best
Yes. And happiest.
best plan. Yes.
Do you envision where this could go in terms of sales or market penetration or health application?
I have aspirations of being as big as Dr. Bronner. I would love to be able to support my family and continue on supporting future generations. I have confidence that it can do this. After you try the soap, it speaks for itself. So.
Part of me is listening, and part of me is just at awe because I don't really meet on a daily basis someone who is so convinced about their product.
Oh, well,
That's
I'm very proud of it.
refreshing. Really, it's refreshing and wonderful because it's such a basic item. I mean, what can you say about soap, right? That makes this so special, and to have an entrepreneur, manufacturer, believe so much in it, and I kind of like it, and it's wonderful for your son to see too. I like the idea of going out in the world and trying things, regardless of what happens. But seeing what you have to learn to make it happen, and eventually who you have to employ.
Yes, that's.
Right? And how are you going to work with them? And yes, I know a young woman who wants to be an interior decorator, but she's starting out by herself, so she charges everybody her rate. But a lot of it is just paperwork, and it's not really fair to her clients to charge the design rates, and some of it is, I call back office, fill out this form, fill out that form. And she needs help. But trying to figure that out and have the risk to hire someone when your revenue isn't so great. Anyway, part of working for yourself.
Taking that next step is an issue.
And you can build in
questioning it.
Michigan, can't you? I mean, your wife will probably stay at SVSU.
Oh, yes, I hope to. My family lives here. My parents just moved permanently from Utah back to Sheboygan. So my grandmother still lives in Sheboygan. She's still a very important part of my life. And
Oh, that's wonderful. What do you like about her?
oh my, she's one of the strongest women I know.
How is she strong?
It's hard to explain. You have to meet her.
Oh, okay.
She is strong physically and just as a mentor or a person to look forward to. She has done so much in her life, from racing horses to selling real estate to selling canoes to racing snowmobiles. This woman has done everything, and
I
I'm just-
love
I'm
it
very-
that you're in awe of her. I love it that you love her so much. I've always liked people older than I am. I feel they have wisdom. They have lived part of life that I haven't yet lived. And so I appreciate it. How often do you get to see her?
I try to see her once or twice every other week.
Oh, that's
So-
really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice to see an older, also for your son. One of the things I think the society or the U.S. could value is what a person with wrinkles can teach you.
Oh. She teaches me.
Of course, I'm a little biased
she
now
teaches
because
me
I am
something
moving into
every-
that phase. But I find that I am more also, since people ask me, they say, well, you're my role model. And I thought, am I old enough to be a role model for people? But yes, because it doesn't depend on age.
Yeah.
It depends on what they have to learn. They're looking for answers too. And you can be a role model at any age. And that's what we all have to be, I think,
Yeah.
to people, inadvertently or with intention. But I'm eager for you to spread your wings. And I think there's just so many resources in the area that could help you do that.
Oh,
And
that is a pleasant thought.
no, it is a pleasant thought because I love projects. I love creating things, and you get a high from starting things, I think. And it's also good to know when you're not so good at things. That you have to give it up. Well, anyway, I want to thank you for being a part of the program, and I have learned a great deal. One is to hear your own music and know when things are right for others, they may not be right for you. And to be honorable in your relationships, like you say, it wasn't working out with your wife's schedule and the construction commitment, to know that maybe something else is useful, and to have the resilience to go try it, and the desire to keep improving things, and the belief in yourself that you can do that. And I love what you said about being a dad, that you're developing, in essence, a full human being in your son, and that takes a lot from the parents. So thank you for being here, and
you for
so
having
much
me.
good luck to you and your family.
you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for your time.
To contact Junia, send her an email at info@juniadone.com. For more information, program schedules, and news about future guests, go to www.juniadone.com. Thanks for joining us. See you next time for Uncommon Sense with Junia Doan.
Local productions on QTV are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.